And everybody, welcome back to No More Future, and please smash the subscribe button to support this, support the channel, and check out a link down below for the Discord. Yes sir, we do have a Discord now, or check my other links like TikTok, Instagram, etc. You get it, you know the drill. Let's get back to the game. Kind of forgot where we last left off, and now looking at this, yep, I kind of remember. We were about to go shopping with Apollo. Well, Apollo makes as if to say something only to relent at the last moment. His expression goes through a varied range of emotions, most of them unpleasant, before finally settling on a pleading look. Can I trust you with something? He replies a bit belated, courtesy of the suddenness of his query, yet firm nonetheless. Of course! What is it? Apollo hides his arms behind his back, his eyes veering further and further towards the floor. Daphne and I, we never had a lot of friends growing up. Well, that's a lie. We didn't have any friends growing up. I see. Truth be told, his revelation isn't all that shocking to your ears. It wasn't exactly hard to intuit, given what you already knew about the pair. Regardless, it's quite a suddening statement to hear spoken out loud. Sorry. From the first day we enrolled in school, everyone hated her guts. The other students, their parents, even the teachers were unpleasant to her. They'd say mean things, pull mean pranks. Sometimes they'd even try to hit her when nobody was watching. That's horrible. And no one ever said anything? I wish they did. But no, they didn't. Damn, they got bullied. I can see why. Calm down. In the context of everyone being young and all, clearly immature people, right? Our parents tried complaining, but no one would listen, so we tried changing schools again and again. All for nothing. It was like there was a curse following us everywhere we went. Something that made everyone resent us no matter what we did. Nah, it's just the looks. I'm sorry. Quite bullyable, especially Daphne. People like to point things out when it doesn't fit in. Our brain just sees patterns. If it's kind of off, it's off. Hell, if we see animation that's off, animation, CGI from movies, if it's off, because the brain sees the pattern, alright? It compares it. We don't see it directly, but the brain knows, it knows what it should look like. And it goes to the point where you're in an uncanny valley, where the face or person looks weird. It happens. Is what it is, I guess. Going back to the game, something that wouldn't let up no matter how hard we tried. Yeah, I guess being born a human will do that too. Wait, hold on a moment. Us? Yeah. Apollo's reply is brief, but the pain on his face is decades old. I was the only one ever stuck by her side in and out of school. The only one who tried to make her feel welcome. And so if the lamb is saying something, you can't hear him anymore. It's like he's become a prisoner of his own thoughts. A condition you know all too well. I can't begin to imagine what you two must have gone through. I'm so sorry. You never meant for the conversation to end up this way. Had you known the mere mention of the topic would have hurt him so, you never would have wished Apollo to recount his past to you. You've always been grateful to your friends for reassuring you when you needed it most. You only hope you can assist Apollo the same way in his moment of need. Aww. Fortunately, it doesn't take long for the lamb to finally crack a faint smile. Oh, don't worry. It wasn't that bad, all things considered. For everything that seemed wrong with the world, we still had our parents with us. They tried their best to keep us happy when we were sad. Gave us a good childhood even when it felt like we didn't deserve it. Oh, that's nice. Maybe a little too good, honestly. The pain in the lamb's words is so palpable it's enough to bring even you to tears. Damn, don't do this, Apollo, don't you? I hate it when you look sad, man. If only you were still capable of it. No wonder that old photo we found at the siblings' place the other day held so much meaning to them. It's probably one of the few things they have left of them, now that they're gone. We still don't know for sure when any of that happened, but it was probably too soon. It's always too soon. I'm sure your parents were wonderful people, Apollo. Oh, I'm so sorry they're no longer around. You silently cry, not wanting to hurt your friend any more than he already is. He's clearly suffered enough already. Perhaps recognizing he's dwelled long enough on these bittersweet thoughts, Apollo does his best to hide away his sorrows with a smile. They really were. I couldn't have asked for better parents growing up. I'm sure Daphne thinks so too. He pauses, his eyes widening like soccer balls. Oh dear, I almost forgot the whole reason I was even telling you all this. I'm also confused. Why did he suddenly bring up the topic? You know, like, we're supposed to be shopping. Your friend's gaze veers off to the side, but the glint in his eyes is different than it was before. Like I said earlier, Daphne never had any friends growing up. Only me, mom, and dad. Maybe that's why she's already so fond of you. You're the first person who didn't judge her because of the way she looked and even considers her a friend. It's okay, Apollo. Isaac knows it, man. He got the first-hand experience. People be looking at him as if he was a freak. Not gonna lie. Upgrades, people. Upgrades. Man got upgraded. I'm sure that means a lot to her, as it does to me. In the midst of Apollo's explanation, you find yourself scratching the back of your neck, feeling the embarrassment from earlier creeping up again. I appreciate your kindness, but I really don't see what's so special about any of that. All I did was treat you and Daphne the way I treat everyone, really. The way I want everyone to treat me. Damn, this guy's too good, man. Isaac is too... I don't want to see him sad and shit. Like my parents taught me. The lamb smiles earnestly at your explanation. Sounds like they taught you well. They did. They really did. I only wish you'd met more people who were taught the same thing growing up. That would have been nice. But hey, at least we got you now. Apollo beams at you, seemingly oblivious to the embarrassment his words are making you feel. You don't have to say that. Again, I really don't feel like I'm doing anything special. It's special enough to me. It's not every day I get to hang out with a trusted friend like this. In fact, it's quite the recent development. I think you might actually have a real talent with people, Isaac. Ooh, thanks for the compliment, homeboy. I getcha, but ooh, man, he hasn't seen what the other people think of him yet. You know, he hasn't seen what other people think of Isaac yet. You retreat even further away from Apollo's warm gaze, not really used to this amount of praise. I'm really glad you think so, but I do think a lot of this is owed to my parents and the way they raised me. I always knew my upbringing was a lot different from the average child's, and I used to resent that, but lately I'm starting to see some of its positives too. Though it was still pretty weird at times, not gonna lie. Wait a minute. Okay, we are recording, that's 100% sure. If we weren't, I'd be hella pissed. You patiently wait for a follow-up question from Apollo, but not a sound comes from the young man. When you turn your gaze to meet him, you find him eyeing the other side of the road, seemingly looking for something. Well, that's a new facial reaction. Are you okay? Hearing the concern in your voice, Apollo's head suddenly snaps back in your direction. Oh, yeah, of course. I was just looking for Daphne's gift. I realized I took a bit of a break from the search somewhere in our talk. Oh, I see. I guess that makes sense. Would you like me to... No, don't stop. I'm honestly really into this conversation. I just don't want to waste our time is all. Given I'm not really doing anything, I figured I might as well look around while we chat so I'm not missing anything. I hope you don't mind. It's okay, man. It's not really... See, this is a problem. Everyone assumes the worst. It's not really bad, given the current reality of our world, right? Our scenario where it's better to assume the worst, so when you're wrong, you're like, phew! Well, thank God I was wrong, you know? Example like this, you would think that person is rude, like you're talking to them, it could be rude, yeah, they're not listening to you, but they have a different intention. Look at Apollo, and yeah, damn. You know, you could be wrong. If you're right, wow, you're very smart. I guess the prize you won is... something negative, a negative trait of a person you found. I don't know. It is what it is. No, I guess something I can share is because my grandmother. Whoa, Sleepy dropping the GM word. No, she'd be overthinking a lot. I think I'm surrounded with an overthinking family. Loki pisses me off to the point that well, it's a family trait now. At first I wasn't like that, but it's hard to not overthink when that's you how do I say, you gain the trait. Is it positive, negative? It depends. If you're always overthinking about everything and it's all negative, oh well, that's a bad thing. That's a bad it becomes a habit, I guess. Yeah. Okay, going back to the game. Truth be told, snooping around in the midst of a conversation is probably not the most polite thing in the world, exactly. But you reckon it's excusable given the circumstances? As much as you're enjoying your time together, Apollo's time is limited and valuable, and it'd be remiss of you to waste it unnecessarily. Knowing that, you decide to take the lamb at his word. Well, alright then, I'll keep going if you insist. The lamb simply smiles as you return your gaze to the road. It seems now is your turn to divulge your childhood to your friend. I was about to say, my family was a little different from most others. My parents were deeply religious. Religious? Judging from Apollo's tone, he really doesn't seem to know what you're talking about. And unlike his usual lapses of knowledge, you reckon this one is probably a little more excusable. Yeah, I'm not surprised you're unfamiliar with that term. Religious just means they believed in God, heaven, and all that. All that stuff that science can't or won't cover. At least that's how they explained to me way back when, more or less. But it's funny, it's always the people that are a bit more believing in certain things. But then when it comes to Isaac having a different, the soul going to a different body, people are like, nah, he's a freak. Turn him into a hunk of junk. Put him in a scrapyard, please, for the love of God. Okay, not the most in-depth analysis, all things considered, but it's been quite a while since you were first introduced to their own little world, and some details might have gotten lost along the way. Probably for the better, if you had to guess. You're trying to hold a conversation, not a lecture. Interesting, I never heard of that before. Or maybe you did and simply forgot? Could be, but I wouldn't fault you if you never heard about it before. It's not like this stuff is taught in school anymore, at least beyond history class. But my father's family came from a devout line of Catholics, dating back centuries. My mom married into them at some point, but I don't know the whole story behind that. I see. What's a Catholic again? Damn! Oh, I keep forgetting that this is the future. Alright, sorry. Doggo got mad. I don't know. At this time, our dog gets like real aggressive. Not really aggressive, barky at night and in the afternoon. In morning, no. I guess not a morning person. Just like me, funny enough. But yeah, going back to the game, it is the future, shockingly enough. Guess religion ain't that big of a deal. But then again, Pandora, the corporation, it's like a really big company. Pretty much own everything. Going back to the game, a simple question worthy of a very complicated answer, but given you're not trying to bore your friend to death, it'd probably be best if you stuck to the essentials. Nothing important, at least? Not anymore. Just one of many kinds of Christians, I suppose. Oh, Christians! I remember now, we covered those in school. That's so interesting. I didn't know they still existed. Some of them still do, like my family, for example. But their numbers don't get much bigger than that. Ever since the shift, believers like them have been on a rapid decline. Probably because their God never left them instructions on how to behave after the whole world flipped upside down. You jest, but you're honestly more conflicted about the situation that you let on. Even when you were younger, you never did believe everything your parents told you, but you didn't exactly not believe in it either. Huh. As a strange feeling of nostalgia begins to overtake you, you turn your gaze into the sky above as if asking for guidance. You think back to your parents. To all their stories about angels and demons, God and the devil, heaven and hell. Thinking back on it, sounds like nonsense. Nothing but a fairy tale to keep men devout and children in line. That's what most people you used to talk about. That's what most people you used to talk to about this stuff had to say, anyway. And you can't exactly fault them for thinking that, given what your home was like. Where's Apollo? What's happening here? Man is deep stuck. Man is spacing out again. Isaac, come back to reality, my friend. And yet, when all was said and done, and you were lying all alone in that hospital bed, you just couldn't keep those fairy tales out of your head, no matter how hard you tried. When the thought of your death was all but inevitable, only one question remained. Would something, anything, await you on the other side? Or would you simply fade into nothingness, as if your life never even mattered? It was all you could think about, well before Mary entered what little remained of your life, right up until your final breath. Hell, who am I kidding? I still think about it even now. A familiar dread creeps up your spine, the same dread that threatened to overwhelm you this morning. In the afternoon, the evening, every day now, when you least expect it. But you can't fall prey to it now, not this time, not when Apollo's watching. And so begrudgingly you continue. I don't know why these things matter so much to me. They clearly didn't to most people I've met. Even so, I think there's some wisdom that can be found in my parents' religion. Some lessons that would have taken a long time to learn otherwise. Like treating other people the way I want to be treated, for example. Being forgiving, being kind to one another. Believing in miracles. Well, trying to at least. Even with your upbringing, you reckon Mary and her team probably have an edge on you in that regard. But maybe that's alright. It's hard to believe in yourself than it is to believe in others, albeit clearly not impossible. It'll get easier in time if only you keep at it. That's what you tell yourself anyway. Which is sure the scientists would tell you if only she were here. So yeah, I guess I had a nice childhood, all things considered. I'm ending the video right here. I'm seeing the next No More Future. Clearly there's a future right in this for this game. Yeah, good at whatever doing. Subscribe everybody. Join the Discord for God's sake. We need to pump those numbers up. Because I am curious if this is gonna do anything or not. But yeah, bye. See ya.